Shakur Stevenson beats Gervonta Davis. Like, there's no doubt in my mind after seeing him work over William Zepeda, how he did last weekend. We'll be talking about Shakur Stevenson's win over Zepeda, why I think he beats Gervonta Davis, as well as Edgar Berlanga being fraud checked by Hamza Sheeraz. So let's get on into it, guys. So yeah, that's a good fight from Shakur Stevenson. I've been critical of him for a while. Let me preface this by saying I love Shakur Stevenson. I think he's a great fighter. He's the defensive virtuoso of this generation. I think he beats Gervonta Davis. And this fight with William Zepeda proved it to me. Now, Zepeda's not a heavy hitter like Gervonta Davis is. He doesn't really pack as big of a punch as Gervonta Davis. No, he's more of a southpaw that's going to bring the volume, whereas Gervonta Davis is just going to sit back. He's going to beat Gervonta Davis. Like, Davis, he's a great boxer, but Shakur's just like this generation's guy. Now, I always wonder, how would Shakur do against a bigger, high-level southpaw? And granted, William Zepeda is not the highest level southpaw there is. No, not by any stretch, but he is a southpaw good enough to see where Shakur Stevenson would be. He was perfect all night. His defense was just magnificent. I mean, he was untouchable. I got to say, he's exactly what I think he is, which is this defensive mastermind, the likes we haven't seen since Floyd Mayweather a year ago or whatever, whenever Floyd retired, It's just what he's done is just, he's so good. He's so good. Get this, all right? I'll tell you what, I'm going to pull this up right here. I think this is important. This is very, very important, actually. Let's see here. Where are we at? I just want the CompuBox numbers right there. Look at this breakdown. Guys, look at this. Total landed 295 to 272. Shakur Stevenson landed more punches than William Zepeda. Total thrown 565 to an absurd 979. We've known this about William Zepeda. That's how he fights. 52% clip rate to 27.8. Zepeda landed more jabs because he threw them. He threw twice as many and only landed about 20 more jabs. Again, a 20% clip rate. Power landed. Shakur Stevenson landed more of the power shots. Again, that's because of the volume. And power thrown. Obviously, Zepeda threw a lot of power, but look at how many more power shots Shakur threw. So, don't let the volume of William Zepeda fool you. He didn't land but 25% of his punches. Out of 900 punches thrown, Shakur Stevenson was able to just dismantle the offensive onslaught of William Zepeda. And I think that's important when you look at Gervonta Davis. Now, there was the moment in the early part of the fight where Shakur Stevenson did get caught and stunned, and that could spell disaster if he's fighting a Gervonta Davis, who is a lot better at finding spots and finding shots. But what I think we saw here was Shakur Stevenson was able to get in there and get into a firefight with someone who's going to throw a lot of punches at him with fair power, and he handled it magnificently. Gervonta Davis is not going to show that much power, or that much volume, I should say, not power. He's going to have all the power. He's going to have the most power Shakur Stevenson's ever fought. But Shakur showed that he's going to be able to handle when Gervonta Davis goes. Now, the question is, will Gervonta Davis go? Now, I don't think if Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis fight, I don't think that that's going to be an exciting fight by any means. It's going to be probably one of the most boring fights. If you watch the Lamont Roach fight, Gervonta Davis really doesn't go first. He likes to counter. Same thing with the Ryan Garcia fight. He does not go first. He likes to counter. He likes to come over the top. And, I question how good Gervonta Davis is versus a southpaw. His game's kind of predicated and built on fighting orthodox fighters. Where Shakur, we just saw him fight a southpaw who's going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at him. Now, he didn't throw the AC 130 like Gervonta Davis guy. Yeah, remember that from Call of Duty? That was intimidating. AC 130 up above! Let's get back. I feel like what we saw from Shakur Stevenson there, the cross guard checks, it's the same thing he's done. We did a film study with him after the Artem Hartunian fight and his defensive magnificence. Since then, he's beat Josh Padley on short notice. But what I saw from Shakur Stevenson tells me that there is no way Gervonta Davis is going to be able to land on such few punches against Shakur Stevenson, who is great at it. And if Shakur Stevenson go in there and set the pace and say, hey, you're going to punch when I allow you to punch, that allows Shakur Stevenson to know, hey, the punches are coming. Watch out. Shoulder roll. Look. Oh, I got this big giant shoulder in between you and your big old hook. Oh, you hit my shoulder. Ow. That's crazy. I really think that Gervonta Davis, if he beats Lamont Roach, and I think he will, if they rematch, he's going to get past his DV charges and all that, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the sport. I don't think he wants to take the Shakur Stevenson fight, and that's the biggest fight for him. That is the biggest fight that Gervonta Davis can get right now to prove his legacy, and that's obviously the biggest fight Shakur Stevenson can get too. Let's go back over here to the web real quick because I want to take a look at something. Like, he's the top ranked fighter here. Let's see. You got Gervonta Davis, Murtala, Keyshawn Davis, he beats him. Abdullah Mason, not ready. Lamont Roach, Floyd Schofield, like, none of these guys beat Shakur Stevenson. Andy Cruz, like, Maxie Hughes, no. Baranchek, no. No. So we're getting into the lower end of this. None of these guys beat Shakur. Gervonta Davis, the only fight he can really take right now is Lamont Roach or Shakur Stevenson to build legacy. And I honestly can see Gervonta Davis not taking this fight just because of how risky it is. So, in the main event of this card, you had one Edgar Berlanga taking on a Hamza Sheeraz. Now, I underestimated Hamza Sheeraz. I remember watching his last fight, and that was the Carlos Adames fight at 160. Now, he's up a weight class. He's long and lanky even for this weight class. Berlanga's super stocky. And I remember watching the Adames fight, and it happened in Saudi Arabia, and Hamza Sheeraz is a Pakistani guy of Middle Eastern descent, and I felt like he kind of got the home treatment in getting that draw. I thought Carlos Adames won that fight. This, though, against Edgar Berlanga, a weight class up at 167, Hamza Sheeraz didn't look too bad. Now, Edgar Berlanga obviously is a fraud. He's a fraudulent fighter, and he needed to be fraud checked. Canelo knocked him down, didn't really knock him out. And everybody's kind of conflating this Hamza Sheeraz win. Like, oh, Canelo couldn't knock him out. Give him Canelo. Like, first of all, hold on. Time out. Canelo has to beat Terrence Crawford first. After that, who knows? But Hamza Sheeraz, he brought this. He used his jab well against an Edgar Berlanga. He used the high guard. He managed to use his hook very well and kind of start landing on Edgar Berlanga. Now, in that fourth round, and into that third round, Berlanga started to open up on him, okay? And I'm like, okay, this looks good. And then Hamza Sheeraz obviously gets the two knockdowns in round 4, and then the final knockdown in round 5. And his knockdowns weren't like, oh, that was magnificent, regardless of what the announcers were saying. He was literally just spamming left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook, until he went down. And if Hamza Sheeraz goes in there and does that against somebody with a high guard, and Canelo does that, Canelo's just going to, boom, time it over the top and bop him on the head one good time and put him down. That's how it happens. And 2 of the 3 knockdowns, that's exactly how that worked. Now, that third knockdown was a great 1-2 up the pipe, but Berlanga was buzzed right by then. And, so we're not going to, take away from that. That was beautiful, but the initial knockdown was not like one of skill. He put himself in a good spot. He had some really good uppercuts, and he probably, set Berlanga up to be hurt with the uppercuts and such, but the knockdowns themselves weren't that great. I don't think Hamza Sheeraz touches Canelo. I don't think he touches, Terrence Crawford if he wins. But Hamza Sheeraz is long, he's lanky, and he's a fast fighter. But there's nothing he could do for it. As for Edgar Berlanga, man, the dude's trash. He learned to promote first, and then he learned to box, and you can tell, because he goes out there, he talks a good fight, he talks a good game, and then after that, it's kind of like, you get the job done. You're serviceable, but, yeah, so, main event for Ring 3, that was, okay, but, Hamza Sheeraz, I'm still not sold on him, despite his 21-0-1 record now. The draw with Adames, Liam Williams he beat, and then, there's really nothing after that. BoxRec doesn't even give him star ratings. He got 3 stars for William Williams. Austin Williams, they gave him 4 stars on it, which that's what I like from BoxRec, the star rating. But I'm not sold on it. Let's see. Subriel Matias beat Alberto Puello. Subriel Matias is super dangerous. If you haven't watched him, go check him out. He's fun. David Morrell defeated Imam Kadiev. Split decision. He got a knockdown, or Morrell was knocked down in round 5. You'll remember David Morrell from putting up that very spirited fight against David Benavidez. He's a decent boxer. And then Katie Taylor, which I respect the hype behind the Katie Taylor fight. But she's already beaten Amanda Seriano twice. Always put your money on the boxer rematch. Always put your money on the boxer. Seriano, 0-3. I'm not saying she didn't deserve a third fight. All 3 scorecards are contentious, and you can make a case either way. But, it's neither here nor there. But, yeah, Shakur Stevenson, he was my highlight of the weekend, and I felt like he should be kind of the center of attention, despite Hamza Sheeraz being the kind of main event for Ring 3. Looking forward to Ring 4. These ring cards are, the last one was terrible with the one with Garcia, Haney, and Lopez headlining it, but this one was actually pretty good. So anyways, guys, look, Fight Finders. One day I'm going to do a boxing episode, but we got a karate episode, and if you like all kinds of fighting sports, this is for you. Episode 7 drops soon. I'm hoping later this week. I've got some other videos to make, but I think you guys would like this. It's really kind of just showing the world of fighting sports, a lot of wrestling, a lot of bare knuckle boxing, that kind of stuff. You guys should check it out.